Diego, how are you? Hello, Diego.
Hello, hello there.
Sir, could you talk a bit louder?
Um, can you hear me now?
Again?
Okay. Okay, so I believe I'm audible now. Yes. How have you been? I hope you've been well. Um, hello, hello, hello.
Hello?
I hope now you can hear me.
Oh, you're still sounding very far away.
Okay, I'm just using another gadget, so I think that's why it may be the issue. Let me just check. Hello? Is it better?
It's better.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Okay, so sorry, I'm using a different gadget. I'm in a different location, and that's why I'm having some issue with my sound. But I believe you can hear me now. So today, we want to just check on the progress of that we've done so far. Remember this unit is self-driven, which means you need to really be working on your part so that you move in, you move a bit, you move a bit fast in terms of the schedule. So basically, today it's like we are doing mid assessment, where now at least you started doing developing your product, and basically what I'm going to look at is first of all, I'm going to get challenges in terms of the two documents that we have started working on. And then from there, we'll go to challenges in terms of developing your product. So that is what is going to form our discussion today, which is going to be more driven by you. So it's going to be based more on your experience and how you're faring on. So I know there are some who have been inquiring about some concepts, and some we are now going to elaborate them here, especially the content of your practitioner statement and the project, your project schedule. So let me open this floor to you so that maybe hear some of your reactions in terms of the two documents. Now, those who had sent, there are people who had sent okay. There's some who had inquired about query about the schedule. I know some are still submitting. So what I'm going to do is that those who still had issues in terms of requirements specification, you will get a feedback today on whether it is okay. I believe it should be okay. I had seen yours for me. I would also see the one for Dashi, which you just sent this afternoon. And I have a query from James. And also received one requirement specification from Moses. Yeah, so today I want to open this floor, and the queries that we had, especially the one that even James had shared with me, want just them to, I want us just to discuss them today. Basically, that's what's going to form our core activity for today. It's going to be the queries around developing practitioner statement and project schedule. So I'm opening this slot to you so that you can come on board and basically you ask the issues that you've been facing. So back to you. Let me hear from you. Yes, so who's coming on board? Uh, Everybody should have something to inquire about, something to ask.
Can you clarify what I emailed you?
Okay, James, I can reply to your email in terms of the project schedule. So the start date is the date when we had our first class. Remember when we started brainstorming on different ideas on the kind of products that you want to develop. So that's when the counting starts. So that will be the start date. So activities in terms of requirement specification is part of the project. So everything that you do should be planned. So you have to put them in a schedule. Even the last date of submission, when you'll be submitting your work into the e-canvas, when you're submitting your e-portfolio, that will be the last activity that you're doing. So the activity should include everything that you are doing from the day we started brainstorming in terms of the kind of product that you can come up with. Yeah, so I believe that one answers your question, James.
Okay, so that's starting from week 3, the client meetings.
Actually, from week 1, because the first
Week 1.
Yes, the first
Okay.
day we met, we actually went through the draft, like brainstorming on ideas of how to develop your product. So it should be part of your project. You can call it preliminary study or I don't know whichever, but it's kind of be a preliminary work that you do before you start the actual work. But requirement precision is a very important activity in your project schedule. If you don't schedule it, then it will mean that whatever you are developing is null and void because it is the requirements that are going to guide the product, the final product that you're going to deliver. So it should come out very clearly And then in terms of portioning of the activities, make sure you give weight to the design. You give work to you give weight to the design. You also give weight to the evaluation, testing and evaluation. And also you give weight to the implementation or the development plan. So those one you have to know how to portion them so that you can justify the kind of allocation you intended to.
Yeah, that's fine. I've already done most of the schedule, but when I was thinking about it, I wanted to know whether we have to add in all the meetings and the client meetings, things like that. But that's fine.
Yes.
I'll add that.
And you know that we shared the template for the project schedule. So the start date, the end date, and the deliverable. So if you're talking about requirements gathering as one of the activities, then the deliverable is a requirement specification document. If you are talking about design, then probably you have an architectural system architecture or the architectural design of the system. So basically, you have to look at the deliverable at the end of the activity. That's very, very important.
Yeah, that's how I'm working it. I'm doing it in Excel because it's easier to do the hours in the Gantt chart.
All right, that's great. That's great. Yeah. Kush, can you hear me now?
No, sir, it's not clear.
Even now, you can't hear me clearly.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
I believe you can hear me now.
So are you using a laptop or a desktop?
I'm using I'm using a machine. I'm using a desktop.
Desktop.
Yeah. I think
It
that
must be your headphones. Your headphones are not good then. It happened with Paul a bit.
okay. Now I have to check. Trying to adjust. Hello. It's the sound that is low, kind of. Hello.
had paused it, but it's on again.
Sir, I have a question.
Okay. So call me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have your document.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I sent the correction over the weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to ask
Yes.
about the client meetings, and let's say you needed to make changes. For
Yes.
example, let's say to a design or whatever tool you're using. Do you mention them there during the client meetings if you're making any changes to your original plan?
You're asking whether you make the changes?
Like, for example, you're using, let's say, a tool or something, and let's say
Yes.
it expires or something happens, or you need to change your take or how you're approaching the website or something. For example, you change from one tool to another. Let's say you're using Notepad and then you're starting to use Notepad plus. So the changes you make, or let's say the different tools you're going to use later on, do you mention them during the client meetings?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It will form part of your practitioner statement. Remember, requirement specification is there to guide you and to have a terms of reference between you and the client. But it doesn't mean that it's a custom stone item. It is something that is going to evolve, so that by the time you come up with your final product, there are some, for example, in terms of requirements, depending on how you execute the project, you may even come to a point where you have new requirements. Okay, the worst is not to implement all the requirements. That one is not good, but you can implement all the functionality, that is, and come up with a new functionality that you had not stated. So you'll find that now your final document is including other things that you had not mentioned, and that's also tie with what you've just asked Ome about tools that you had not mentioned in the initial meetings with the client. Then during the execution of this project, you realize that there's a new tool, no? And that new tool maybe is better, or it's actually better in terms of what you had mentioned before. So it is highly recommended that you go and get that tool. So if the tools that you had mentioned are not the best tools in the market, then you come up and adopt new tools. Then that's the best. That's actually the best thing that you need to do. Yeah, so it's acceptable that you can have.
So this change, you're going to show it in the practitioner or in the requirement?
Sorry, just come in again, Mohammed.
So this change of transitioning from the old one to the new one, in case you want to do it, you'll show this in which document?
You're talking of the schedule, right?
No.
Or you are talking of the new tools that you've adopted, right?
Yeah, like the client meetings. So
Yes.
that's what I was asking, like, because those are the ones that we'll probably could be doing it over time. Do we mention the changes during the client meetings?
Yeah, so they'll come in at when you're doing your practitioner statement, and personal reflection. So in the practitioner statement, you'll say, I've decided to use this kind of tools because of 1, 2, 3. I'm aware that there are these tools, 3, 4, 5, but I'm concentrating on 1, 2, 3, and you give a reason. Then on the reflection, you say, as much as I had settled on 1, 2, 3, I realized that 1 maybe was easier to adapt in my project. 2 and 3 were okay, but they had probably a higher learning, maybe they had a longer learning curve. And because of the time that I have for the project, I decided to use 1, you know? So you have connected what you had in your requirement specification, plus what you had in your initial practitioner statement. Remember, practitioner statement is something that is evolving. It is not a final document. So the personal reflection part is going to summarize your experience in terms of developing that product. So the personal reflection is going to be the document to report all these changes, all this evolution in terms of how you are carrying out your project. Right? Am I making sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, so Sahil, I'm thinking I've answered your question because you're asking whether, like you're saying in the schedule, after mentioning the requirements section, do you have to mention the design of the schedule and Gantt chart in the schedule? Now, you don't have to mention them verbatim, but you can have a general term to describe that kind of work, because it is work. You have invested time in coming up with a schedule and even the Gantt chart, you know. So you must find a way of documenting that because this module is about documentation, being accountable for your time, for your resources, you know. So coming up with the schedule is a very important activity, and you need to see a way in which you can account for it. And using a Gantt chart is recommended because it will show how the activities are related and the timings that you have given them in terms of hours, man hour. So yes, that's how you need to. So you need to account for everything. Don't assume that the assessor will understand that I was also doing A, B, C, D, but you have not mentioned it. Please try to mention everything, but just try to put it in a way that makes it project oriented activity. Okay, that's good, Sahil. I believe you've understood. That's good. And then Zainab, do you have to identify the tool used for Gantt chart in the practitioner? Yes, I would propose that in the practitioner statement, if it is worth mentioning, then please go ahead. If you think it will add value to your practitioner tool set. Remember, your practitioner statement is looking at the state of art tools or the state of art and trying to bring it into your project. So here, the practitioner statement, we are confirming that you are aware of what is happening. You are aware of the best approaches in terms of developing a software product, and you have chosen the best. So even the tools, so the tool set is going to form part of your practitioner statement. So if you have a specific tool that you've used for generating your Gantt chart, then please mention it. We'll be very interested to hear about it. Yeah, so that's how I can answer you. Zainab?
So is there guidance like how we did for the requirement specification?
Yes, that's why I'm here. So today, I'm assuming that whatever you're asking is related to your practitioner statement and your project schedule. And
Yes,
these
sir.
are the teething problem you had with the generation of or development of those two documents. So by getting these ideas, you are going to refine the two documents. Remember, the documents are not, they are work in progress. So the more you hear about it, the better you continue to refine it. If somebody he wants to volunteer, maybe to share his or her schedule, you are free to do that. If maybe you're not, but can allow me maybe to check, then I can sample a few. I can sample those who have already put in place. Then I can come back and just discuss the general guidance in terms of what you have worked with. Yeah, so those are options which we can choose. But I usually like that we just share what we have with others so that as if somebody was stuck somewhere, gets a way to come out of that of where you are stuck by sharing. Okay, so Sahil, you have another query. Do you have to include all the client meeting that took place, or the last one is good enough? So again, it boils down to what you ask in terms of the designing of the practitioner statement and project schedule. You don't have to put them one by one, but you can just talk of client requirements, how can you say, requirement elicitation, so that requirement elicitation or requirements gathering will take care of all those meetings. And you know, when you had the first meeting and the last meeting. Yes, so you can talk, Sahil, you can talk about all the clients meeting together. So just say clients interaction or clients review. You can talk of clients review or review of requirements with the client, you know. Then you say the start date and the end date. So you know when it started and when it ended. And this thing should be coherent. Remember we said whatever you do has to be coherent. And I like the questions that you're asking, which means you are mirroring your own process. You are mirroring your own way of doing things. And they have to adhere to whatever overall plan that has been given for the module. So don't tell us that you are going to start developing in May, you know. So that one may not make sense. But if you and also even requirements, you can tell us that you want to go to the client in April. That one again will not make sense. So all the client meetings should be from February, around February, and when we were coming to March, I think we were signing off. We were signing off the requirement specification. So just make sure that they are coherent with the activities that you have carried out. Just make it as natural as possible, because if you put in your own created or your own fabricated activities, then along the line you may be asked a question that you cannot answer. So just make it as natural as possible, and yeah, you'll find that you come up with a good product. Come up with a very nice product. Yes. So thank you, Sahil. I believe we are at par now. You've understood. That's good. Let me get another question. Thank you. You can send a chat. You can also talk. The floor is yours. Paul, today you are very quiet. Eh?
I was actually just unmuting myself to speak.
Okay.
So for me, it's a bit of concern. I had done the project schedule a while back, I think almost 3 or 4 weeks ago. I've never gotten any feedback from you about it. I've revised it a few times in the past. And even today, probably I might have some revisions based on what you said earlier on to do with the preliminary meetings held. But two things. I am a bit concerned with the content of that schedule because I've heard you mention that we need to document the interactions we have with the client, and considering that this is more to do with implementation, the interactions might not be the best place to put such content, at least on the interactions. And then those are actually very dynamic processes. They might not happen when you specify that they're going to happen. I was more of the idea of just focusing on the actual work being done on the system. I mean, and that is inclusive of the whole documentation and design process, design, implementation, evaluation, and deployment, if there will be a deployment. I was thinking that is the strategy that we should be taking up. Please advise me if there's any, if I'm wrong on that. Secondly, when I look at even my own schedule, I am seeing that we need to be completing it around, we need to be finishing up the the testing of the software around the 19th of April, testing, and then so that deployment can come around the 11th of May. Right now we are in the almost the last week of March. From my schedule, it shows that I should have finished at least half of so I should have done the documentation completely, database design, started development, actually finished almost half of the development by now. Public modules, so basically like display for what guests can access. But the speed at which we are moving at is going to hamper this heavily, because like even with the technical documentation and doing the database design, even giving it just even 3 hours for at least some of those sections, that is an exercise that is going to really eat up a lot of time, at least the documentation side of it. So I don't know what you can be able to advise or even to propose for us, because sometimes we feel like we are being slowed down. Like at least the last 3 classes, there's not been much movement, at least for most of us who had already done the requirements. Over.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, yes,
Can you
sir.
hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that we have this session plan, which I believe was shared with you, right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, this wasn't shared with you?
No.
Okay, so let me just take you through so that at least we are at par in terms of how this module is structured. So you see the first session, we did the introduction. Second one, we did the assignment overview and requirements gathering. Then the third session, we had client meeting and e-portfolio setup. The fourth session, we started now the sign off. The fifth session, we also did another sign off because sign off usually takes a bit of time. Then last week, we started the documentation of project planning and practitioner statements. So today, we are looking at the mid-module self-assessment, which is like the second client's meeting, assessing your progress, checking the milestones that have been accomplished by students, and students are expected to be at the midpoint of their projects. You see. So at this point, it will also be possible to identify students who may be facing certain challenges and offer appropriate guidance. So before we could start developing our products, it was prudent that we go through a way in which we get requirements from the user. And after that, you need to plan. And I think that is what we started last time. We started planning, and I also gave you the first client contact sheet, which gave you an authority to start developing your product. So as you plan, as you give the overall plan, and as you document the kind of tools that you're using, you should also be developing your product. And that is what I was to go to next, once we look at the two documents that we have here. So that's why we need to be at a point where we have a working project schedule and a working practitioner statement. And that's what I said, is that today I'm also going to check the documents that you have. And after checking, I'm going to give a general overview in terms of what you've done, so that come next week, which you will be looking at basically how you are developing your product. Remember, at this point, we are more on planning and also looking at the tool set that you are setting in place, and looking at all the available resources at your disposal, planning for them, so that you have a clear picture of how you are going to finish all this. Now, when it comes to technical documentation that you are talking about, Paul, if you do this right, then technical documentation will just become a walk in the park, because you've understood your product, you've understood the process, and you had even planned for it. So if you rush and start coming up with your product, it is as good as just waiting for the last moment and unleash for us a product. And you would have not gone through this process. If we are looking for just a product somewhere, then we would not have gone through this process. So that's why we are going systematically, and this document should be available to you so that you check on how we are progressing and what is expected of you.
Okay, can I step in there just for a moment?
Yes.
We are supposed to be doing mid-module self-assessment. You know, when I look at this, at the document, the template for the mid-module assessment, in the milestones section, it talks about having 2 or fewer ticks being a red flag. And the 2 ticks, basically the sign of references, terms of reference, and the project plan. And then it says 3 to 4 ticks, it's an amber flag. The third milestone is having a broad understanding of the method or approach to be adopted. Whereas the fourth one is talking about the detailed system solution design. it's an orange flag, meaning that you might be falling if you spend more time on it. So and it's the system solution design. I'm looking at it as being an expansion of the requirements document that we did, basically putting in more details. If you have wireframes, the ERDs, the DFDs, and all that information. I am concerned on that particular document, how much time it might end up consuming.
Okay. I was to go to that document once I've gone through what you have, you see, because I can't say you have a detailed system or solution design before actually seeing it, you see. So basically what is happening, first of all, you will realize that you may not know even what you need to include in the project plan, what you need to put on your practitioner statement, you see. So this milestone, or the milestone that we are looking at here, is I'm going to look at it after reviewing your documents. Then after that, I'm going to give now the general guidance on what you need to do starting this week, you see? Because we just discussed about the practitioner statement and the project plan the other week, and you had to come up with these documents, right? So after that is when because this is the second client contact that we're going to have. So basically, this is going to be what we are doing in our next class. That's when now I'm going to take, once I give you the brief concerning what you need to do, then come next week, I'm now going to give you a check. I'm going to do a check off, because I'll say we said you need to discuss, you need to have done this. Now, have you done it? You see. So with that, you will be in a position to gauge whether you are off the schedule or you're within the schedule. Is it okay, Paul?
Okay, fine, that's making sense, but I'm going back to at least the requirements, which we're talking about having 12 weeks for the assignment. And the 12 weeks, like even James had stated in the chat, running from the 2nd of February, goes up to the 27th of April. That leaves a whole month of no activity. And if we are to look at it from that angle, then possibly the 2nd of February is not an accurate time to estimate when we start. And if that's the case, then where does that what's the impact of that also on the preliminary meetings that we had? Does it mean that we just need to start off from the requirement sign off and not the activities before we signed off on the requirements document?
That's what I said, that you can just sum it up. You don't need to say, okay, this was the initial meeting, then you give a date. No, you can just talk of the meetings, the client's meeting for requirement specification sign-off. And then you just look at the start date. So you give the start date and the end date. Basically, there's the proposed start date and end date and the actual. Remember, you have two parts, the proposed part and the actual, how it actually happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it is based on you. It is based on how best you want to present it. All schedules and all these documents should be unique to you. So based on how you went through it, then you need to come up with how what we say is a document that is tied to your own method or your own way of doing things. But I get your concern, Paul, which is good, that we may relax and come up to do quite a lot at the tail end. And I like that notion that we need to be worried and know that time is not on our side. Because whatever we are going to do now from this week is going to be like a marathon, you know? Because right now, I'm assuming that you know clearly the kind of tools that you're going to use. You know how long they are taking in terms of what you can do with them. And you have in mind the kind of product that you want to develop. And I'm going to share with you the mid. So what I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that you, from today, you should have put in place certain things that I'm going to project. I'm just going to project them so that you are aware of where you should be. So that come next week, then I'm going to do a checklist, because I could not have done that because we discussed the documents and I was to check on what you have done and give you some feedback in terms of what you have in place. And then the feedback, now you need to work on them, and come next week, it's just going to be checking what you have vis-a-vis what we expected. So that's what we are going to do next week. And it's going to impact on your scores. And that's why I don't want to rush it, you see. So I want just to give you what will be expected and what we'll check. Remember, we have only three contacts which are recorded. This the milestone, checking at the milestone is the second one. And when you are doing the demonstration, when you are confirming the product that you've developed vis-a-vis what you promised. So the milestone that you would have achieved are going to be shared, and you make sure that you work on them. And come next week, it will not be a bargain now. It will just be just checking what you have uploaded, and we'll just agree. I'll just say, okay, this one you have not achieved. This one you've achieved. This one you need to tweak. This one you need to do this, this, and that. So basically, that's what we are going to do next week.
But why are we finishing? Why are we supposed to have everything finished by the end of April when submission is the end of May?
Well, that one, as per the experience with the last class, you will work even up to May, even one day to submission. And it is you to decide whether you want to include it or not. But what I know, even on in our session plan, let me just share with you. Session plan, let's see. You can see that we are going all the way up to 4th May, which is 5th. It will now be 5th May. You see, and this is when, now look at the product demonstration. We are assuming that by this time, that is on 27th April, we'll be doing your final product demonstration, where each student is expected to do a demo of his or her system to the client or tutor. This will basically involve interacting with the actual system, confirming whether the system functionality has been implemented successfully. This will be the last client contact. Then, of course, we'll have the final meeting. Once you do for me the demonstration, I'll give you some brief in terms of what you need to improve on your product. Then come 4th May, when we conclude, you will have now a debrief in terms of checking out your e-portfolio, beefing up your documentation for final submission, and ensuring that all aspects of your product development have been captured. And this will be the last contact lecture. Final remarks will be delivered. You see that? So,
I don't think you're sharing the document you're reading from.
okay, let me see. Okay, are you able to see now?
Yeah.
Okay, so remember we started with the intro, we went to the assignment, understanding the assignment. We had the client meetings and the sign-off. And last week, we looked at the practitioner statement. And today, we look at the mid-module self-assessment, and which now will guide the evaluation for next week, where you'll be. I'll now give you the marks in terms of those milestones. I'm just fair so that I don't give you today. I'll give you next week so that you take into consideration what we are going to discuss, so that you improve on your documentation. Then we'll do 3 phases of product review. So this is when you'll start now the actual development. Don't rush into developing something that you are not even sure about, because we have three sessions. You see that? So you have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Then we have when you do the testing and evaluation. Then we'll now have the product demo, where now you do your final demo, and this is when we do the final client contact, which is the third client contact sheet. We'll have it here. Then of course, the following week, I'll just check that you have everything for submission.
From this,
yes,
we out of the 12 weeks, only 4 weeks is for development. So basically, our schedule will be nothing for the first 8 weeks, and then everything gets done in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, you know, you have started. This development is now the actual. Okay, it's the work that you're going to put in terms of how prepared you've been. You see?
Yeah, but it seems
and it doesn't mean.
It seems strange that for of the 12 weeks, 2/3 of that we're not actually developing anything. You see what I mean? Is that we've spent 2 months, so 8 weeks, just doing, I don't know, project plan and all that, and then the last 4 weeks is where everything gets done.
No. Everything is not to get done. I don't know if you remember the first lecture that we had. It's not about just coming, developing. Development here, it means now the implementation. But when you are developing a product, it is not just about going to the factory and starting patching up things. Don't you think what we've gone through was important before you start developing a product?
I'm not dismissing that. I'm just saying that when I put in my schedule, I've got the first 8 weeks, and then in those 8 weeks, all I've done is decide on what I'm doing, and I don't know what else, maybe install software. But from this, it says we should have started. So we have to sign off. I don't know. It seems a strange allocation of hours for a project.
Okay, so what do you propose?
No, I'm just trying to clarify, because so session 6. So if we started on the, I don't know why it has to start on the first day of the term either. But I'll just say, okay, so 2nd of February, and then we've got everything signed off sort of mid-March. So then that leaves us, so 6 weeks to develop. So if I put in my schedule, that I start development as of today, then the last 6 weeks has been, I don't know what else to put in my schedule for that.
You see, even during the time you are coming up with your product, the requirement specification. Let me just make you understand. By the time you are coming up with the requirement specification document, you may have had a draft design of your product, because you clearly understand the product that you are developing, right? So you can make it in a way that maybe you are developing the draft design of your product, maybe in the early stages. But these things are running. You know, there are some activities that run parallel. You don't have to, you know, using a Gantt chart. I believe you understand how projects are done.
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that the design is starting from 23rd. This is just based on the class, but in the back of your mind, you even write, by the time you are presenting your requirements, already you have a draft design of how your system is going to be, right? Even when you are talking about the evaluation, how you're going to evaluate, you have a complete picture of the kind of product you want to do what? You want to develop. So this one is just to guide us, everybody. This is to guide everybody. You see? But
so
you can.
how many hours do we allocate to that? Because the product actually building the thing will take up a lot more hours than just say having a design or something. So how do we weight the hours allocated to all these tasks? Do we put everything, say, I don't know, 75% on the actual development side of things, or do we just distribute it evenly? So for example, now, if I start today actually developing everything, it would be more than 16 hours a week, each week, really. And all this documentation requirement specification wouldn't take 16 hours a week to start with.
No.
So you just
don't
weight
think
it
that is right.
appropriately? Huh?
I don't think that is right. Remember, designing your product, you may have a draft design. You may have started designing it. You see, what you're talking about is implementation. Are you talking about implementation? Like coding,
No,
writing the code?
the project schedule should have it should realistically have things like wireframe design, you know, because you can't just start without doing that. You need to have a rough idea of what you're doing. So you need to create that. But I'm saying that the actual product coding and all that stuff is probably going to take most of the hours out of this 200 hours that we're allocated.
Then maybe you didn't understand our first classes. This class is not about just programming, because you are talking about programming.
Yeah, but I have to physically create this website, yes. And I know that creating a website is going to take me more hours than just creating the wireframe and a few documents.
Why do you think so?
Because realistically, you've got to do all the...
You will only take more hours. Huh? You will only take more hours. Okay, just finish that. Just finish.
So, well, if I'm implementing all the things that I put in the requirement specification, the database, all that stuff, I have to create the database, ERD, all these things, and then I have to code everything so that the website is complete and works correctly. That won't just take a week to do. It's not a simple HTML web page with nothing else. You've got to do all the bits. So it depends on what's the focus on? Us getting all this documentation and the project schedule done, and it doesn't really matter whether we finish the actual website or how is it looked at?
Okay, all this, you know, I'm working with a plan as per this module. See, because if you look at you have seen even on the module on Canvas what you should do in week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, all the way, right? week 6 was the last week, which we were discussing the practitioner statement, right?
Mhm.
So if you are saying by week 4, you might have started developing your product, then you may be doing, you may not be following the module structure. Because in those weeks, those will be the things that we are looking at. Or maybe you can guide me. You can explain to me,
Okay.
saying that
This-
we could just jump into developing our product.
No, that's what I'm saying is that you're saying it's 12 weeks starting from the 2nd of February. Now, we're not going to start working on everything, on building everything, because like you say, we have to do all these documents and things like that. So
yes.
Now we're at week 7.
Yeah.
So you're saying that if we'd agreed, we'd have started working on the designing everything. No, because we still haven't done the project plan. So we're just, for me, I would have thought we'd start the project planning and then we start the project from that date. But now we're backdating it to the start of the term and it ends in April.
So if you are learning about project planning of a product that you don't even understand how to come up with it, will that be the best way?
Okay, but why?
Because you have to understand, even like requirements. You remember how we spent much of the time in terms of looking at the requirements, because you'll go outside there, then somebody tells you, I'm looking for this kind of product, and you rush and put in your project and come up with something, and you'll find that you've wasted time in terms of not understanding even the product that you need to deliver. You've put in resources, and at the end of it all, the product is not what the client needed.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
do you? Yeah,
no, I understand that. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that I was assuming that now this project planning from
Yes.
last week is where we start creating the schedule, and then that schedule starts from this date, 9th of March, and then we work on that to the end of May.
Oh, so you're worried about the schedule, how you need to include your schedule and incorporate everything in terms of developing the product.
Yeah,
Is that your concern?
plus in your schedule here, it says we have to have everything done by basically the end of April. Yeah.
Yes.
But why? I mean, that would be fine if we had to submit at the end of April, but we have to submit at the end of May. So what's the motivation for anyone to leave a month between completing?
Yeah, that is usually a question that even previous class had. But what you'll understand is that the 1 month will be there for you to do final touches, you know, because even as per our schedule, we are having our classes up to 4th of May, right?
Yeah.
And what we'll be discussing is just about your project.
Yeah, but I can guarantee that if you give someone 1 month difference between actually showing you what they've done and actually having to submit, no one's going to have this done by the end of April.
Okay.
Can I add on to that as well? What James and also what I have been looking at is more on what the project schedule should contain, and going by the timing that we've been discussing here, the schedule containing the discussions about the requirement sign off is not I mean, it doesn't sound very practical. For you to meet the 12 week schedule. And the risk to that is that we end up losing a lot of content for the whole product development process. For instance, if the schedule that you're looking at is talking about finishing the process at user acceptance, and assuming that you've already done evaluation prior to that, where does that leave deployment and the documentation, the final documentation, like the user manuals and so on, which would definitely need to be added to that schedule. I mean, if you're looking at some of that content, then the first 1 month that we have already spent is not really falling into play here. It's not something that you can put, you put a whole month of just discussions about the requirements and so on. But even in the practical world, the project schedule, I think, should only cater from the time you start doing requirement gathering, and not proposal development. Because I believe that is what we had been working on, is more on the proposal development.
Okay. All right. It is open for discussion. And what I'll do, I'll try to contact the module leader in terms of that. And I think he will guide us, so that we look at how do we slot in the 12 weeks that you need to plan with. So why don't you leave that for me so that I contact Dr. Gary so that he guides us on that. Remember, you are the person who is on the ground. So I think that concern is understood, and I'll try to pass it to Gary so that he can guide us. But as for now, what I was thinking is that it is better you include the part 4 requirements gathering. But if you don't want to push it all the way from February, it depends. Maybe you can give it to the first week that we signed it, the week that we signed it. Then you start your schedule from that point.
Can we have weeks where there's not much activity?
Yes.
Can we have weeks in the schedule where there's not much activity? E.g., we don't add a lot of hours to something, because when I'm doing this schedule, I'm going to put more hours towards creating the database, creating the website, testing, all that kind of thing. So,
okay, now, we have this. Okay, the module is designed in a way that it pulls everybody together. What I've also learned is that there are people who can move fast. Like maybe you are very clear from day one what you want to develop, and you already have a plan. It may be advantageous to you because you can move. Fast enough and complete your product development. But we are moving as a group. Like right now, we have some who have not. We have not completed their requirement specification. You see. So it becomes very hard if only, say, like in week 1, only maybe 3 were ready with their requirements. I can't just leave others behind and say, now we are moving to the next part. And that's why we give 2 weeks, so that within 2 weeks, at least we have put everybody at the same level, so that when we are discussing about these other things, everybody's at par.
Yeah, but
Or
that means
majority.
that we're going to have to push back the schedule for those that have done are waiting for the others to catch up.
Okay, so I'll just get a clarification on that, James and Paul, so that we have a definite starting point and the ending point. Remember, a project has a starting date and an ending date. So we'll try to determine those demarkings in terms of the start and the end.
Okay. So also,
yeah,
I'm assuming that the focus on this module is just the planning and all that kind of thing, you know, the documentation. Yeah. So
yeah, okay.
So it doesn't, in my view, it doesn't matter whether you actually complete the build of the website and it all works and everything like that. It's more of the case that if it doesn't work, you document that it didn't work and you understand why. So it's actually more about your documentation and understanding what went wrong. Yeah, rather than having a fully complete website that works perfectly. Does that make sense?
Okay, James, this is the thing. Product development is different from programming or doing those kind of stuff like coding. Because I think you had done a module in terms of writing some PHP code or C++.
Yeah, we did web last term, but the focus on that was actually getting a working system.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Yes.
There wasn't a focus on the documentation and project and all that stuff. Whereas
now
this module is the other way around. Whereas the focus is on the project and the planning and the documentation, rather than, I would assume, the actual finished website or whatever you're doing.
Very good.
Right. So if on the 27th of April or wherever, I turn around to you and say, I couldn't build anything, but I have all the documentation as to why, that's still okay.
Is that
I say your voice is cutting, sir. Hello.
He's disconnected already. Okay, he's back now. He's off again.
Yes, James.
So the point of this module is to
to
show that you've done the documentation and the schedule and all this stuff. It doesn't really matter. If you fail to build the website, but you say that you failed to build the website and you document why, then I would say that that's still okay to do. Yeah, because you've shown that you've failed to do it. Yeah.
We don't want you to fail to do it.
I'm just saying in the worst case scenario that the focus of this module is on actual project planning rather than actually getting a completed website or system built.
No. It's both. It is an assumption that you already have your skills. You have your toolkit. Remember, if you're doing programming, then you will be developing skills to do your programming and things like that. You'll not be worried about, is this what the client wants? Did I follow the right procedure, you know? At that point of coding, your focus is on, and can I come up with something, even if it is not what the client wants? How fast can I do it? You see? But now we are bringing, because you already have that skill, no? Which means if once you understand what you're looking for, then you can do it very fast by using the best approaches instead of using the brute force approach, kind of. Because when you are coding, it is just, you are just concentrating on writing codes, writing and ensuring that you have outputs, you know, very fast. And you can, you see, you can come up with any kind of system or software at a very short time. That is the focus in terms of programming. Like if I can compare it to when you go for a driving to a driving school, before you know how to drive, your focus will be on how do I accelerate, how do I stop, how do I make a turn, you know, how do I overtake, you know, such kind of things. But look at yourself now. You are a chauffeur driver. You are a chauffeur somewhere. So you'll have to look at your communication. Do you know how to communicate with your boss? Do you know how to interpret road signs? You know, so that the skill that you had can be now used effectively to help humanity, because human beings like communication Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, okay. Sorry. It seems I was not visible, audible. So just to reiterate what I was saying is that this module is not about programming, just coming up with a code. Okay, once you know, okay, this is the software, the kind of software you want to come up with, then you just go ahead and just do your code and finish. No, it is about developing product the right way. So if you're doing it the right way, for example, if you have a team, you will find that there is a lot of documentation because you are not doing this for yourself. You're doing it in a way that you are involving people, and you want to really develop a product that will satisfy the user that needs that product, not for you. If it was your product, then you don't need to go through all this rigorous process. And I can attest to you that if you are just to do some program of your choice, then you right now you'd be basically through. But you can see that every part is important, such that if you bypass it, then of course you'll find that your product at the end of it will not be a good product. If you could just rush, for example, I just tell you, okay, just write what you think you can develop. Then we rush, and at the end of it, you come. Then I start asking you, why did you even think about this? This is not a valid product. Then you are told, how can we confirm that this product meets these requirements? You know, so you'll start using shortcuts and say, you know, this one can do this. You know, it could not do this, but now it can do this. You see, and that in a professional setting, we can't work like that. In a professional setting, once you go outside there and you are involving you are involved in a professional deal, then a lot of documentation is usually evident. So I still agree with you, James and Paul, that there's quite a lot of work in terms of documentation. Because through documentation, you communicate and people will understand what you're doing. But if it was just for your own, because you can understand what you have done, then you will not have gone through all this. So we must accept that the more we document, the better our product, and the more usable it becomes. But if this was a programming class, then by this time we'd be learning about things to do with variables, connecting to a database, and all that. But in the session plan, you realize that there are no such kind of things. And that's why we are not teaching about programming, how to write your code here. And I'm assuming that that's what you call development, writing your code. It's not about writing your code. It's about using that skill appropriately, communicating it clearly to the client. First of all, knowing what the client wants, then communicating clearly to the client how you intend to do it, and the client also communicating back to you. And at the end of it, we come to all of us to be happy. So that you are happy at the same time the client is happy. So any other question? I don't know if I've answered you, James.
Yeah, I mean, I've just looked at the marking schedule, right? So that the marking is
Yes.
50-50. So
Yes.
35% for production of the system, 15% of the testing and evaluation, and then 50% for the rest of the work that we do.
Yes.
So, okay.
Okay, so are you feeling that we are moving in the right?
Yeah, I can almost guarantee that nearly no one will have it ready by the end of April, but it's not that I'm not going to try it, but I just think with 1 month left after that, I don't think anyone's going to be finished by then. It will get left to the last minute.
So the trick is, as we do all this, try to sharpen your skills, put your tool set together using the practitioner statement. You know, try to see which kind of tools can I, because if you'll be in the market and you are told that we need a product within, say, 1 week, if you do your practitioner statement well, you will be in a position to deliver a product once you understand what the product is all about within the shortest time possible. But if you are not clear, even your tool set is not right, then even if we started by developing our products, at the end of it, we'll not have a good product. So what I'm trying to say is that by knowing what you have in terms of assets, or what assets you have in terms of the skill set, you can put it in the right way and implement your product within the shortest time possible. Because this is not a programming class. It is about, we are assuming that you already have the knowledge to write the code. You have the knowledge to debug and all those things. So that here, it is about understanding what you want to develop, having a clear roadmap, and having a clear communication with a client, and ensuring that you can deliver the product the shortest time possible. That's the assumption you have here. Okay, so any other question? Because if you can remember from day one, what I said is that you don't need to start coding now. No, okay, you don't need to wait. You don't need to wait up to the last minute, is when now you start learning about the code, maybe programming, and that's what usually happens. You see? Because if you start at that moment, then you will find that you'll have a very short time in terms of development. Hello, any reaction?
For me, it's fine. I mean, I'll attempt to get it done by the end of April, but we'll just have to see what I get done.
Yeah. But Paul, James, you understand that we have a TOR, terms of reference. So try to work on the product so that whatever you had promised is you're able to achieve.
Yeah, that's fine. But you know what I'm saying is that some people might just say, okay, I didn't do this, but at least I documented why I didn't do that and whether that is still acceptable. You know?
That's true. That's true.
It doesn't matter if you fail as long as you document why you failed and you understand why you failed.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But
yeah, but the argument must be very it must be valid so that you don't say because all these things you'll be asked, okay, by this time, okay, what were you doing? And they'll go and check your schedule. They'll check at what you had specified as your resources, you know. So all these are going to be linked together. Yeah. Sometimes you may, that's why I could take you back and forth because people are writing, for example, resources, and yet they are not even aware of other resources that they have. And being unaware of resources will not make you design the best product, you see? And now I'm going to check your practitioner statements. And after that, I'm going to maybe discuss something. Discuss something which you now need to incorporate in your further documentation, and also in terms of the work that you're doing, in terms of development or, yeah.
You on there?
So allow me just to go through. Like I was telling her, if she wins, I'll give you my chief.
Yeah.
But if I win, you're going home with me. Yeah. And I won, so she's going home with me, bro. Dashil, please mute. Dashil! Dashil, please mute. Okay, so I have, I'm perusing through the requirement, the documents. Daniel, I think you need to do something on your documentation. Now, these are the things that may be taking us, maybe derailing us, because right now we need to be having documentation and project planning and practitioner statement. So some still don't have, and these are now the things that we call the red flags. And I want to just bring it out so that at least when we come next week, we are aware of what we need to have, because at that point I'll be having a checklist. So Daniel, I think you need to put in your documentation, because it seems not to be there, unless if you had put and I'm not able to get it. Then I have, let me see. Yeah, please do, because and now when you're uploading, please take care of what we are going to discuss next. So don't just upload a raw one, but we are going to discuss what we'll have as a checklist by next week. Then Paul, please, you'll check on your e-portfolio link. It seems it's not accessible. Please just check. You can share with me the link to your e-portfolio, but you'll have to do something on your e-portfolio so that it is accessible, because the module leader will be just checking on that. So if they find that yours is not accessible, I know you had done a lot, but just check that your e-portfolio link is accessible.
I've shared with you the link to the portfolio. I'm able to access it even without logging in. So I think probably you might be looking at the wrong link, but I've shared it with you as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't deny that, but part of what we'll be checking, which I'm going to share, will be part of the access to your e-portfolio. And I know the module leader will be logging in and just going through. So let me just show you what I'm seeing, so that at least we are at par. So I believe you can see this, Paul. So what is happening is that the module leader will be navigating between you. So for example, if you look at Daniel's, there is a link here, and I can go to different section of his e-portfolio. So just check on your side, but you can kindly share with me the link. You can share it privately so that I just access it. But you'll just check why it's not able to be accessible. You can see if I go to the one for Diego, you see now I have a link here. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about.
So I've sent mine to your message.
Okay. I've seen it. Yeah, so this will be part of the milestone. So I'm just trying to prepare you so that I don't do it as ambushing you, but I do it while I've prepared you in terms of what is expected. So Diego, your section is not complete. So you need to have all the section for the module, and you have not uploaded anything so far. So that will be a red flag in terms of if we'll be doing the mid-assessment evaluation.
All right, sir. And sir, if you're able to also just check the corrections for my requirements, client requirements,
Okay.
don't send
Yes,
you.
yes, call me. That one I'm going to it right away. Okay, Kome, I've gone through it. It's largely okay. What you'll just improve on are the constraints in terms of, okay, you've talked of what will be lacking, but tell us why would you not achieve, for example, the visual appeal and things like that? Just give a brief overview in terms of what kind of resource don't you have to make you achieve that. But it's largely okay. Also on the resources, I believe even the resources is basically okay. But these 5 people whom you put under miscellaneous, I believe when you are asked about the 5 people, you will be able to give evidence of that, right?
Yeah, I will. So do I give details about the people who are tested?
No. If you are sure you'll get them, then Have you talked about them in the evaluation?
The evaluation. Yeah.
Or-
They'll be the one doing the testing in terms of days of use.
Oh, and this tester, well, okay, will you not work with them in the evaluation part?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, so I think you can mention something in the evaluation. For example, when you are looking at ease of use, then you tell us that you'll have 5 people maybe trying to confirm the ease of use of a system. Yeah, but it is okay. Just amend that. And what I'm going to do, because I want us to move very fast now. I don't want us to keep on moving back and forth.
Okay.
So what I've done, I'm emailing you. Once you change that, then upload it.
Okay.
Upload it on the requirements part, the requirement specification part. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just amend that part of evaluation, and you now write on your client contact sheet what the change that you've done, the change, what I told you to do.
Yeah.
And you'll send me back that.
Right.
Yeah, but this one I've signed it for you, so I want you to just move fast. I want you to move fast so that you start the development. And I believe you've started.
Yeah, I already have.
Okay. Okay, so Moses, you should also check that I've sent you back. So what you need to do is just to convert it to PDF. You name it requirement specification. Then you convert it to PDF once you sign. And from there, you need to send me those who have been given an okay. Please send me the client contact sheet with the template that we agreed on. And I want us to move fast now. I want us to move fast because at least now we know where we are heading to. We have a plan of how to achieve it. So the shield, yours is also not accessible. So you can send me a link. You can send me a chat, the link. Nirali is Nirali around? Because I've not seen his document, his requirement specification document. Nirali?
Yes, hi, sir. Hello.
Hello. I've not seen your documents. I've not seen any of your documents.
Yeah, so I'm trying, my e-portfolio is not like I'm not able to access it as well. So I will just send you a link and you help me in it. So I'll just upload in that. And I'm not even able to do my portfolio nicely. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes. So please just do it fast enough because next week I don't want to give you the foreheads. Huh?
Oh, okay.
Yes, because I'll just be going to your e-portfolio and having a checklist. The checklist I'm going to share. So please, all the documents.
Okay, fine, sir.
Yes. Kush, you can also share with me. Yours is also not accessible. Then we have Kavit Shah. Yours is private. So try to check. You can share with me. You can share with me your link, but at the same time, you make it accessible.
How do I do that, sir?
That's Kavit?
Yeah.
Yes, it's not accessible. Let me share with you what I'm seeing so that, because this is what the module leader will be seeing. And that's why in the previous class, you would find that people are they are not getting any marks.
So how do I change this?
I think there's something you marked private. There's something you marked as private. I think that's why I think you are seeing what is showing on your e-portfolio link. Can you share with me the link?
Excuse me, I had also made mine private, but when you browse through it, it wasn't showing this. So I don't know if making it public is the solution.
Oh, so you're saying yours was, you made it?
It was also private, but now after you showed us the screen, I made it public, although it wasn't showing the padlock. So it's confusing on how exactly you are accessing it.
So how do, where do we get, or where do we go and make it public? Or I mean, you know?
Kavit, maybe Kavit, let me see if he's going to get the same way I'm getting, then I can show you how to make it public.
Okay,
if
great.
making it public is the solution. I'm not sure about that though.
Yes. Okay. Let me see Naval. Muhammad, have you created your e-portfolio? Muhammad, can you hear me? Zainab, have you completed setting up your e-portfolio page?
Yes.
But it seems you've not submitted. I think there's something you need to do. Even Sahil Ibrahim. Okay, Kavit. Yeah, Zainab, I think you just need to check on publishing your e-portfolio. I seem not to have a way in which I can do that because my role is a teacher, but I think there's a way. James is usually our savior here. I don't know if he's in a position to help us.
To do what, sorry?
Okay, those who are not able to publish their e-portfolio.
Yeah, I'm just creating a screenshot.
Sure.
Kavit and I have made ours public. I mean, can you just check and see if it's changed?
Okay, I'm just confirming straight away. Kavit. Yeah, Kavit, yours. Let me see. Still something. Yeah, Kavit is okay. It's okay now.
Okay, thanks. So that's it, yeah?
So
that's it.
You can view my requirement. Sorry.
Yeah, but you have not uploaded your requirement specification. Eh?
I've uploaded.
Who?
You have not.
Who?
Even the client contact sheets, they are not there. Practitioner statement are not there.
Kavit or who?
Kavit.
But I've uploaded my requirement special document last week.
Maybe you can just confirm because I'm not able to see it from my side.
You see my screen?
Yes.
So
Yes,
this is the one
James.
you need to do. This. So you just go in the e-portfolio for your, and then you go to the section that you need, and then you just copy this share, this link. You don't make it public. So anyone with this link can open it. That's why I sent you before.
Okay, then you can also test by saying go to the actual e-portfolio, right?
So
yeah, if you copy this link into another browser that you're not logged into Canvas with, you'll see whether you can access it or not.
Okay. What about a place to publish it? Because, okay, let me see.
I don't think you need to publish. All you need to do is share this link. That's all I've done for you when you've looked at mine.
So can you see my work? Can you access my portfolio? Mohammed, this is Mohammed.
That's Mohammed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yours is also not accessible. Thank you, James.
James, do I have to make it public?
No, that's what I just said. Just copy that link, test it in another web browser that you're not logged into Canvas with, and you'll see what someone else can, whether someone else can access it. It's just that one with the link on the main page of the e-portfolio.
James, but that approach is conflicting with how the lecturer is browsing, because he's moving from one slide to the other, and that doesn't. When he does that, the links don't have the private links are not shared like that. So I think there's a conflict here. If we are supposed to leave it private and share the private link, or if we make it public so that the browsing next from profile to profile can work.
Well, I've shared, what I did was share that link with Ishmael when I was sharing for my requirement specification, so he could access it, right? And he could browse through. I mean, I've opened up that link I've got for mine in another browser, and I can view all the documents in that e-portfolio.
Yeah, that approach works if you have a link. But if right now what he showed, he was clicking on a button with the profile names.
Yeah, but that's because he's logged in with his tutor account.
And that approach requires the portfolio to be public if he's going to do it that way.
So
let me just confirm.
For you now?
Let me just confirm. We are just going to do a test. I'm going to see. I'm just going to preview one that is accessible, and then I'll tell you to go ahead and make it private.
You can preview with mine. I made mine public and I gave the same instructions to Kavit.
Yes. Let me see. Come.
This is Paul, not Come.
Oh, yes, Paul.
So just check again.
Yeah, Paul, I don't know why it's still not accessible. Okay, what it says is that you have not submitted. You've not submitted your work. You've not done submission.
That doesn't make any sense. Submission. I thought submission is supposed to be when we go to the actual link on the assignment and submit the link there on the day. But isn't that it's supposed to be done on the final day before the deadline?
You need to start now so that you start updating. You remember the guidelines are that start updating your e-portfolio early enough. so that
Yeah,
we
I'm
will
getting your point on that. What I'm saying
yes,
is this.
yeah,
The link where you're saying the submission is
yes,
under the assignment section
yeah,
of Canvas. And that
yes,
assignment section shows that the assignment is supposed to be done on, was it 30th May?
yeah, but it's available now, right?
It's available, but then now if you're submitting and something, your work is incomplete.
No, 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 no. Assessment will start after the submission deadline. Nobody can go ahead and start assessing you now, because whatever you'll submit, and that's why you don't have to wait for last minute to start updating your e-portfolio for submission. And that's why it is part of the milestone. Remember what we were to do mid-module assessment, because you are doing the submission, and the submission is all this that we are doing. Yes.
Okay, sorry to cut you. So what you
Yes.
want us to do right now is that e-portfolio which you created in the dashboard, we copy that link, go into our module for product development, go to the assignments, go to the e-portfolio link, and then submit that which one we've created in our account, that e-portfolio over there, such that you can see it.
Exactly.
Okay,
I think
and
that,
then now my question is, so if I keep now uploading documents, how will I upload it and where will I upload it to? Because if I upload it to the normal way, how I go to the account and then to the portfolio, and then will it reflect the documents I've uploaded in the assignment link which I've already sent?
very true. The link is constant.
Yes
The
or
link
no?
is constant. Right?
Huh?
The link is your link is unique. And
but my question is,
yes.
Now, when I upload now, because right now it doesn't have most of the documents. So now, once I start uploading, do I have to always now go back and start uploading the link again and again so that it can show the documents? Or do I just go to the e-portfolio and then upload it there and it will automatically reflect in the submission link?
That is right. The second point is right. Once you submit your e-portfolio link, you now just update the various sections. So anytime I click on that link, I'll always be getting the updates that you've made. So, and that's why you are advised to start, okay, you submit, but the assessment will start after the deadline. So the module leader will not start assessing you right now. And it's usually advisable, because if you wait for the last minute, sometimes you may not, because I have to go through and also show you what the assessor will access and give you evaluate you based on that.
So yeah. So now, to just make it clear, just see if you can access my work now, please. Just check.
You've submitted the
yes,
way
I've submitted the link.
Okay, so let me
just
try that straight away.
Please.
Okay, so if I go to Mohammed, okay. Great e-portfolio. So I'm seeing I'm seeing 5 people, like 5 people. are the
Okay,
ones.
fine.
Yeah, Muhammad, yours is now okay.
Because mine is private. My e-portfolio is private, it is not public. So now my only question is, sir, normally when we want to upload, we go into our account, we go to e-portfolios, we click on our portfolio, and then we go to that document where we want to, and then we upload, right? So now my one main question is, as I regularly update, will it reflect in that assignment link, in that assignment submission link for the e-portfolio, will it automatically update?
Okay, let me do this. Huh? I can do you allow me to show?
No,
I'll hide the URL.
No. Oh, no, it's okay, sir. It's okay. But you can see it, yeah? No.
I can see. I can see. So what?
You can see,
what I'm asking you to do? Can you upload, because I'm already in that link?
Okay.
I can see the requirement specification.
It's there.
But you have not put the practitioner, the project schedule, right? You have not uploaded, right?
No, the planning and the practitioner is not there. The client contact is there.
Yeah, client contact record sheet is there.
Yeah.
Practitioner statement, not yet.
And not yet. And the planning, you are not yet.
Yeah, so I'm requesting you to upload a sample document on the section under planning.
Center for Enhancement of Learning and Teaching. Link. Center for Enhancement of Learning and Link.
Nirali, just mute.
Mohammed?
Okay. Yeah. So let me upload 1 minute. So I'm uploading now a document. Just let's see if you can get it.
Okay. But that's what we need to do. Colleagues, I believe we have understood what is required.
1 minute, sir.
So just before you go as well, I've done that submission.
Yes.
Just tell me what is showing under. This is Paul, by the way.
Okay, let me just confirm.
Can you please check if you can view my e-portfolio?
Right, that's
Zainab.
Okay, so I'm confirming. The first one was who?
Paul.
Okay, Paul. So let me see Paul and Zainab.
Okay. So. Hello.
Paul.
Hello. Hello, 1, 2, 3.
Hello, Paul.
Yes, I can hear you.
It's okay. It's okay now.
So we needed to submit the assignment. That's what was
exactly.
I'm still very confused where to upload the thing, because I've uploaded in the e-portfolio. I don't know where exactly I have to upload.
Just see if you can see the.
So I'm confirming the one for Zainab that we're just at par.
Kavit, maybe if I can guide you what you need to do, go to the module itself where you see the list units review. Yeah, the assignment. Okay, fine. So just go and do
Okay,
a
you see, I've
submission.
submitted a document.
Zainab, yours is still not accessible.
So mine, I've submitted a draft. Can you just confirm? So
Okay, that's Kavit.
Muhammad.
Yeah, yours is okay. I confirmed.
You know, you told me to post a draft document, yeah?
All right. Now the draft, Muhammad. So click that.
It is under practitioner.
Practitioner state. Yeah, it's there. Draft doc.
Okay. Yeah.
So
no.
Yeah, so it's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
All right. So thank you, sir. Okay.
Paul, you're saying something?
Just click on the link that James has shared on the chat.
Okay, great.
Take you to the place where you paste your portfolio link.
Oh, okay. I just paste the link, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me try it.
Yeah, and you can see submit your e-portfolio link straight after following the instruction to create the e-portfolio template. So make sure that the e-portfolio template that you're working with is complete. Then you'll add content to this during the module. Then the e-portfolio or the module is not assessed or marked until the end of the whole module. Yeah, so that's, thank you again, James, for sharing this, but this is what I wanted to say. This is what I wanted you to be aware of, because it is part of the milestone.
So can you please check now?
Okay, Zainab, let me check again, no problem.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir. So if you don't see it, do we like resend it again, or what do we do?
Yes, you can always resend. You can always update.
Or it won't bring any problems if we resend it.
No, because we are still working on it. Just ensure that the page is, the e-portfolio page is complete.
Okay, no problem.
Yes.
So.
Okay. Zainab, it's okay now?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, so Zainab, you've somehow updated most of your section. Now it's only the practitioner statement that I've not seen yet. So I wanted
And
this.
as well.
Yes. Please, all of us, I believe you have these two documents. I wanted to just check what you already have so that it will guide us on what you need to improve on. Come next week.
I've just uploaded. Can you please check if that's the right link or?
That's Kavit.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Kavit. It's okay now. But he's still asking me to log in. Have you submitted? Still there's something wrong. Just check. Please just check.
What is the message you're getting so I can know what's wrong?
It's asking me to log in.
Now what?
So Zainab, the schedule is done nice. It's very comprehensive. This is good. We'll refine it in our next meeting. But for now, please go ahead and start your implementation. I would like to see your practitioner statement. Can you upload the draft? Please just upload the draft. But the schedule is done very well. Next week is when now we'll refine these documents. Right now is just to check whether you are moving in the right direction. And this is a plus.
And I'm going to ask that what are the expected outcomes for next week? Is it like a design?
Yeah, I'm going to share that. That is what I'm going to share before we break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, sir.
Yes, Nirali?
Yeah, I want to show you something, yeah. As when I'm logging in into my, what do you say, Canvas, yeah.
Yes.
And when I try the e-portfolio link.
Yes.
So am I supposed to do submission over here or?
Very true. Submit assignment.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I'm supposed to do, yeah?
So click on the e-portfolio link. Don't go back, just where you are, click on that link. That is the upcoming assignment.
And then I do this.
Yes.
Okay. And then when I'm
Yeah.
trying to access my notes, I'm not able to. Okay, right now I'm able to, otherwise I was able to do anything right now. Wait, no.
So right now it's okay?
No, not yet. Wait just a second. When I try to click on my course materials, this is what shows me.
I believe where you are first, where you have the weekly, remember week 1, week 2, the content based on.
Okay, that's review, yeah.
It should be on. Is it on files? Something to do with files? Okay. Yeah. So those are the content.
Okay.
You now see. You see them. You see week 1, week 2, week 3.
Okay. All
Yes.
right. I've been struggling since why I was not able to do anything in my canvas. I've been trying to look for every document and I was not able to get anything.
Okay. I hope
Thank
now
you.
you are.
Yeah,
You're
just
okay now.
yeah, I'm okay.
You might have helped others also.
Okay.
So James, you can see week 8, 9, and 10. That's when you need to work on your product. So you cannot start working on it before we do the what you're doing now. James, you there? Paul?
I'm here.
Yeah. I believe you've seen, as per the schedule, you start working on your product from week 8.
Yeah, but that's why we were saying that schedule is raising questions.
Yeah, but don't worry. Just put up something. And remember, we still have up to something to do with May 4th. Before you do the final submission, all that will come out. I'll also do inquiry with the module leader. So it should not worry you because all those documents are work in progress. They are not final documents, right?
Okay.
All right. And it's good that you are bringing them up. That means that you understand maybe the implication in terms of what you need to add in there. So that's good. That's good observation. Okay, so I don't know who has also posted and I've not seen. Today, I'm just looking at the overview of what you've done. I'm not going deeply into the content, but I'm just checking out if you are on the right track.
Did you ask who else who has submitted?
Sorry?
You asked who else has submitted, or are you
Yeah,
done with that
I've
part?
seen. I'm actually on your page.
Okay, I would appreciate some feedback on the project schedule.
That's why I'm saying it is something that is work in progress.
Okay.
Yeah, so let it not tie you very much in a way that you can't do other things. Let it not stress you that much. I'll try to get more information from the module leader in terms of the time span. Should it cover from the time that we started the module, or should it start from the time, the 12 weeks So I'll get that clarification, and in our next class, I'll be able to give you a feedback. Right?
All right. Okay.
Okay. And I can tell you that documentation may be more difficult than just developing a product. So you should view it as when you are developing a product, it is not, before even adding a certain code, you must be very sure whether that is the code that should be there. Is it the right? Are you using the right tool? And if you've given a timeline, are you able to deliver within that timeline? Are you able to plan? You know, so those are the things that will be assessed, not necessarily being a guru in writing codes, because we know you can download codes. You know, you can just go to the internet, just go to just to get a source code and just manipulate. Yeah, it's possible, James. You can download a code, and it is not bad. And it is not bad. In fact, if you know, because what is important is the final product and sustainability. If you know how to work with code repos, if you can rip codes and customize them, then that is also very good, because you can work with, those are resources that are available, you know. But if you can't use it in the right way, then it is of no value. And that's why this process is very crucial. It is very, very crucial in terms of how you can come up with products that people will use, not for your own use, but for people's use. Yeah, so Paul, you've also done a very good job. I think you are progressing well. Just ensure now you have the practitioner statement in place, but the others are okay. They'll just need panel beating, which we'll discuss in our next class, but the progress is good.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, James, I've not seen yours being available. Can you check on your side whether you've submitted?
Yeah, no. I will do that. 1 minute.
Okay.
So have you checked mine?
Yes, Naval, let me think I checked. Let me just go back.
Okay, mine's submitted, but I'm still working on the schedule and the practitioner statement, but I'll upload those this week.
Okay. Okay, James. Okay, so James, you'll please complete them. I don't know if you had a draft of this.
I've got
a draft of the project plan, a draft of the practitioner statement.
Got drafted the schedule, but I was wanting to speak to you what I emailed you about earlier. So now that we still don't know the start date, but I've got most of the schedule written up. I just need the dates so I can put the correct dates in.
No problem, James. What you can do, just upload the draft. Just upload the draft, and then from there, I'm going to give you guys some head starts, so that one thing or the other is not giving you a stopover, or it doesn't make you that doesn't make you stop doing other things. So I'm just going to give you some tips on how to navigate so that you are within the schedule. At the same time, you are coming up with a good product.
Okay.
Yeah. Sahil, yours is also okay, but you have not done any project planning. You've not declared your practitioner statement.
Yes, I still have my drafts to finish.
Okay. So any draft that you have, please just upload them. Don't wait for a perfect document. Provided you have done something, you just upload it. And with that, it will give you a head start.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
To clarify the practitioner statement from that document you had, so we have to justify the approaches, methods, tools, and techniques we've used in our project.
Yes, that's true, James. That's what we need to do in our practitioner statement.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so allow me now to share what I'm going to check next week, and that is going to be marked. So I want you to take this very serious. That's why I didn't want to do it today. As much as it was to be today, I have always given a way in which you are prepared, so that come that time, you don't get ambushed. That will also be the same when it comes to the third and the last client contact, which will be during demonstration, where you are demonstrating your product. So let me share with you what we'll be looking at next week. Yeah, so you'll have this template, which you'll have your name there. Now, the product development module is different from other modules in that it is largely a self-managed module where students progress their mini projects on their own and demonstrate they can do a professional job. So at this point, we'll assume you are at the midpoint of your project and you ought to be assessed on your progress. So we have the following shows the major milestones of the project, and you should now have a plan to manage your progress. You should also be in the middle of your development. Use checklists to show where you are and determine whether you are on track or whether you need to catch up. So I'm going to look at this. First of all, whether you have a signed off TOR, whether you have a project plan in place with ongoing refinement. That's why I say you don't need to have the perfect project plan. Just have something that is guiding you. Then you have a broad understanding of the method or approach to be adopted. So this will appear on your practitioner statement. That's why I wanted to see how your practitioner statement is, because if I don't see it, then this part you may not score. Then we want to see whether you have a detailed system or solution design. This may also be part of your practitioner statement. Then I know many may not have, will not have done this by next week. But if you have a way, and that's why I wanted to give you some tips so that you have something here. Completed implementation of your application, stroke solution, including the testing. You have design evaluation, or you've completed evaluation of your solution with your client. E-portfolio evidence up to date. So you may score this. That's why I was checking on that. That is up to date with where you are. So that if you have this, you have this, you have this, and you have this, you may not have completed your work, but your e-portfolio is up to date with whatever you've done. Then you will be at a good point. You will be at a good rating. So that's what I want you guys to be wary of, that come next week, have your system solution design. You have understood the method or approach in your practitioner statement. Remember, your practitioner statement, you are giving us the method that you are going to use and the reason why you are choosing that method, among other methods that are there. Then have some working system designs. So this week, mostly you are going to work on the system design. And after that, you'll make sure that your e-portfolio is accessible and is up to date with these documents. So are we together up to that point?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, can you share in this Zoom that the schedule document that you said we should have? You know, the one you were referring to with the dates?
Yeah, I will. I'm going to share it. Will you be able to access it here?
If you just drag it onto the chat, then it should send it.
Okay, let me just share it right away. Yeah, so there you are. I believe you are able to get it. Mohammed, you can share it. Oh, it seems I've sent it to Zainab only. Let me share it with everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Do you want the milestone also?
No, I have that one. That's in the canvas, but that session plan was not. So I just want to reference it when I'm doing this stuff.
Your orange cool.
All right. Yeah, so you guys, can we end there?
course, we can end there.
All right. So please, guys, I'm urging you to up your game. Please look at those milestones, because come next week, I'll just strictly go to your e-portfolio and check on those documents, and that one will determine. It is very, very important, because the assessment is going to be based. It is actually whatever is going to be ticked there is like 50%. It's the mid module assessment. So please, if by that time at least you have your application running, it will be the best thing ever. So start developing.
I think it'll be a bit of a miracle as well.
No. Just have something. Just at least something running. Something that you can panel beat something. Just having something that is work in progress. The trick here is just start something. Don't wait for a perfect time or a perfect thing. Just have something.
So
and,
even if we don't have the database system set up, you can just have the web front end or something.
Exactly. You'll be motivated. You know, if you have a nice landing page and you keep on opening it, you're motivated, and you'll be forced to continue adding more content and implementing. But if you don't have anything, then it becomes very hard. You just see that this is a very, very daunting task that I can't start now. Let me wait for a perfect time.
Yeah, it's just you probably don't know, but we have our other module, business intelligence, assignment is due in 1 week or so. So I think people are looking at that more than this module.
Yeah, so I think it's just a matter of planning, because all this you are doing, you are not doing this in isolation. So it's just a matter of planning and allocating resources effectively. Yeah, as you work on that, yeah, you can also look into this, but just have something showing some progress, showing at least that you've done something. And with your schedule, just try to, if it is a draft one, can you be disciplined to work with it? I know that will take you somewhere. Yeah, I'm not closing my eyes that you don't have other things. I know you may have, like even last time we had this, the students had quite some deadlines to meet. And the challenge usually, when it comes to the last week of the submission, that's when you concentrate all your energy to that.
Yeah, it's just what I was saying about we've done all this waiting, and then now within 1 week we've got to get something done. So, but I'll see what I can do.
Yes. Okay, no problem. Just try to take it as initiative. Just do something, and try to check with those milestones, so that when we come next week, at least you are not on the red or the amber, on the amber state. Yeah, so I would want to stop there. Let me thank you all for this session. Thank you for the interactive session. You guys are really on top of their games. You know basically what you want. So I want you to put that effort and that commitment in implementing your final product that will encourage, the client will be happy with. And that is what you'll do in real life. It is not just here, but even in real life, that's what will happen. So have a good evening, and let's meet next week.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you,
you,
sir.
sir. Good evening. Bye.
Good evening. Good evening. Good night.
Yeah.